Okay, today we are talking about Mecha Suits. Now, here is an example of one. I don't have a copyright of this, so if anyone happens to know where it came from, it'd be great if you could tell me so I can put the proper information, give the proper credit. Anyways, Mecha Suits. I'm gonna add lines so that this looks a little bit neater. So, Mecha Suits. Now, first, I need to give you a little information. A mecha suit. It is an exoskeleton. Basically, what it does, if created properly, which, in all honesty, civilization or humanity as it is, isn't up to this point yet, but an exoskeleton can give you better strength. So, if you can only bench 100 pounds with an exoskeleton, depending on how good it is, maybe you could bench 100, even a ton, or not 100, a ton, because I already said you could bench 100. Anyways, it gives you reduced strain. So, because your strength is up, your strain is down. It gives you more stamina. Well, not really. What it actually does is it takes the weight off. So that means that you can do more because you aren't expending as much energy. So this is all going back to better strength, really. Another thing it can do is that it gives you protection. Now you can see with this exoskeleton, it's very strong. Everything is very thick plating, and there are wings. So, depending on the design, perhaps you could fly. I don't know. We haven't gotten to this point yet. This is all theoretical at this point in time. Now, what are the benefits of having mech suits? Well, benefits. The first thing is that we need to talk about robots, actually. Robots, right here. Robots can lift more. They can do more because they are getting a constant source of energy. Basically, they run on electricity. Now that means that in the terms of manufacturing, which is where I am most comfortable since that is where I've previously worked, in manufacturing, robots are used to do heavy lifting. They're used to do things that people don't want to do. Such as packing, moving parts, and other things. Now, of course, these are very boring tasks, but because robots exist, that means that there aren't as many jobs. People used to have these jobs. Then they put in robots, and that sort of took them away. Now they say that having robots creates more jobs. In a way, it sort of does. in reality, this really only creates jobs for people with money. Wow. Since these jobs require you to have knowledge, you need knowledge, you need skills, you need to know coding, ladder logic, and a plethora of other skills. Now, with Mecha Suits, you need to have people to be inside of them. You need people to maintain them. And you need people to code them. Because, of course, you can't have the pressure sensors within the mecha suit in here, in this, that will respond to people when they press against an arm or a leg. Now, going back to this, mecha suits provide these 3 instances of jobs. Robots, on the other hand, provide coding and maintenance. Now, the problem is that coding doesn't need a whole lot of people. Since when you code robots, it doesn't take 30 people to do it. You can code, you can maintain the coding and updates and the processes of robots. Given enough time, you could do maybe 10 to 15, wow, I hate that, robots with 1 person. This is not ideal because that means that in reality, while it is creating different jobs, it's not necessarily creating new ones, because you really only need 1 person for maybe 4 robots during runtime. Because these robots are not going to fault out, which basically means that something happens and the robot doesn't know what to do because it's not in the coding. But each time this happens, either the coding can get fixed or that 1 person can reset the robot. So that means that there's 1 person for 4 robots just to reset it. There's 1 person for 10 to 15 robots that is coding them. And that means that in the end, there aren't as many people needed for robots. Next time, I'm going to explain more about why having mecha suits would create more jobs in the end. I'll review this a little, and we'll go on with that, and then I'll explain why this is such an important thing in today's world.